Inside the numbers from yesterday, I tell you can't say enough about the Colts defense as well. Season high, 5 sacks, the most this team's had since week 13 of last season. Shut out Tampa in the second half, held them to just 112 yards total offense in the second stanza, while Hasselbeck heated up in the second, 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. This defense, who you and I have said throughout the course of the season, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
You know, statistically, they've been put in some very bad situations. But overall, maybe outside of Greg Toller, this defense is not that bad at all.
At all. And you really saw yesterday, you know, they got the 5 sacks. I mean, Walden, you can't say enough about Eric Walden this season. I mean, questionable all week, didn't practice, comes in the game and gets 2 sacks. You know, Trent Cole gets a sack, DeQuell gets a sack. I mean, all the pressure on the quarterback in the second half was immense. But you look at the third down conversions, we couldn't stop them on third down. We couldn't stop them at all in the first half. We just made them kick some field goals because they had some untimely penalties in the red zone. But 5 of 7 on third down in the first half, 71%, 1 of 6 in the second half. I mean, they couldn't do anything that they were trying to do in the second half, in the first half and the second half. Look at the rushing yards. I think we gave up 90 yards to Doug Martin in the first half. Obviously, one of those on one huge run for 56 yards, but he gets 7 yards in the second half. I don't know if he was a little banged up. He didn't play as much in the second half as he did the first, but just an outstanding job. And Gathers at safety, filling in for Mike Adams, is doing a fantastic job. Across the board, I thought our defense and defensive line. Henry Anderson gets hurt a couple weeks ago. You wouldn't even notice it.
No.
It's actually they've gotten better since his injury. Not to say that they wouldn't have with him in there. I mean, he was playing phenomenal, but they really picked up the slack to move forward.
David Perry has played really well.
Phenomenal.
Clayton Gathers coming up out of nowhere, really. Dwight Lowry who came up. All these guys are coming up big, and you wonder how they can continue that. Hopefully they can.
Yeah, and I thought our corners did a really nice job on the size of their receivers yesterday. I knew they were going to get some big plays, get some catches. They came into the game. Every catch, it seems like every catch they had coming into the game was for a first down as well, just like Moncrief is yesterday. And it started out that way in the first half, but then in the second half, I thought our corners locked it down. Gathers, I liked that draft pick when we drafted him. I thought he could grow into that position and be a safety for the long-term future.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Mike Adams come back, he's your starter, but you got to get this guy in the field. And how you're going to do that, I just don't know. But just all around the defense, I don't see a weak link right now. Jarrell Freeman, I'm a little worried about. He went out yesterday with that hamstring issue. Those can kind of linger sometimes, and you really don't want that to happen. So, and obviously, he's kind of the captain of that defense.
I think it's a